Okie dokie, guys. Welcome officially now to the Origin Initiative. So today I'm doing my first social media post to give you guys an understanding about not only what the Origin Initiative is, but mostly why. So, what it is essentially a series of presentations by which I've recorded and somewhat codified the experience that I had about 7 years ago that led up to an attempt on my own life in 2018. And that effectively ended my canine handling and then slowly my military career. And it was something that caused me a great deal, obviously, of suffering over the next few years. And is something that I've still been working on in varying degrees over the last 7 years. And I have learned a heap of different things, and I've taken notice and I've written things down. I've memorized things. I've used different metaphors, pictures, graphs, whatever it was to explain the experience that I went through, but more importantly, the lessons and the things that helped me get away from that place that I was in. And that was things like depression, anxiety, some hypervigilance, those kind of things. So essentially, that's the what, and it's a series of 3 presentations. Each goes for roughly an hour and a half. But in terms of the why, that's a big one for me, right? So when I was in the military, I'm pretty sure I went to about 8 funerals over the 12 years that I was in the military. And 6 of those funerals were for suicides. And that doesn't even count the civilian friends and people outside of my work whose funerals I went to or who I knew that had taken their own life. And one of the big things that really struck me was why? Why do these dudes always keep killing themselves? Guys that I looked up to, guys that I thought were really tough, guys that I thought were doing really well, guys that had families, guys that had great careers behind them, had a lot of potential, had a great future seemingly ahead of them. Why were these guys killing themselves? And why did I have to sit through the funeral and watch families and partners and brothers and friends and children cry while their fathers were buried? And that's something I've obsessed over in that time is, why do we get to that place when we feel like suicide is our only option? And I can tell you why, but that's a video for another day. So the why for me is, why should they have to take their own life and people sit through those funerals and people live a life of pain after that because they seemingly couldn't see a solution or they had no frame of reference to relate to what their experience was because they thought they were the only one and they thought that suicide, taking their own life, was the best option. And sometimes the other option is to live seemingly a long and painful life where all you do is destroy the people around you and hurt everybody. And I can tell you right now that that's one of the contributing factors to somebody taking their own life. It's the fact that they think they're a burden to everybody around them and that they think that taking their own life is the best option. And sometimes it's just the fact that you've got so much pain that you don't know what to do with it and you don't understand it, so you just want to escape from it. And being the extreme people that we are and that we can be in this military, first responder, emergency services world, and I'd much prefer to use David Ballantyne's term operational Australians, we are extreme people to a degree by nature, and then we will do extreme things, particularly when we encounter something that we don't understand. So the why for me is, why should we have to see people keep fucking dying and taking their own lives, or living that life of pain where they maybe they are hurting the people around them, or they are just living a life of suffering, and they are hurting themselves on purpose and inadvertently, or even on purpose, hurting the people around them. And that's why I do what I do, and that's why when I go up to my house this morning and I see my little girls, that's why I do what I do, because I know what it's like to have something after you've gone through that, and I know what it's like to have something worth living for and to see a future. I know what it's like to not understand what you're going through and think that the only option you have is to then take your own life because there are no other options and you're a burden to everyone around you. So when I go upstairs after this video to my house and I can look at my daughters and my wife and I look at this building around me and I can live my life today in the beautiful sunshine, I know what's on the other side of that journey. I know what's on the other side of that pain. So if I've got any purpose in life, it's to not only enjoy the fact that I've now got this gift, what I previously thought was a curse, but is now my mission is to give that gift to my daughters in the form of the best version of me and my wife. And the other purpose is to give the best version of me to you guys and the people that are struggling and have been through the same things that I've experienced and that are contemplating suicide or who are living that life of self sacrifice or self punishment and that are seemingly or obviously hurting the people around them. And that's why I do what I do. And I'm going to make a solemn vow to you today that I'm not going to fucking bullshit you ever in this process. This is not some dog shit social media tricks and gimmicks and sales tactics. Yes, if you want to see me speak and pay me to go and talk to your people in your workplace, then I will absolutely do that and I'll give you the best that I can possibly give. But I solemnly vow today that I'm going to give you everything that I can in order to fulfill that mission. And there'll be no fucking bullshit, no fluff, right? No social media gimmicky crap to try and convey that. It's going to be the real thing, and that's all you're going to get. So, yeah, thanks very much for listening to me rant. And that's what this social media page is going to be. It's just going to be a series of me talking through the lessons and some of the experiences that I went through so that you can take it, you can take that, and then you can do the best thing possible with that. So thanks very much. And I'm really looking forward to imparting everything that I've learned.